Good day, everyone. Hope you've been well. Thought I'd do an update video. I know I've been absent and pretty inconsistent with the videos, but it's not that I wasn't doing anything. Obviously, I was trading myself, but I've been kind of like plotting and pondering on exactly how I want to do this thing. I used to have a group before where I would have the analysis and constant daily updates and these types of things. I have since left that, taken a break for a while, but I'm in the process of coming back and doing that again. But I want to do it correctly. I want to do it efficiently, and I want to be able to add as much value as I possibly can to it. So yeah, it's not like I've just been sleeping. I've been trying to point out how we're gonna do this, and once I start having all those things in order, I think you guys would be happy with what we're gonna be doing. On another note, if you know anybody that would like to learn, see the way I analyze the market, then have them join the Telegram group now, because we are in the process of working on a system that's behind a paywall. It'll probably be on a subscription basis, month to month, 3 months, 6 months to a year, etc. I would like to get back into analyzing the market several times a day. So sending morning updates, midday updates, evening updates, Sunday webinars, and some longer format videos. I'll be uploading to YouTube. But if you want to get into daily routine, daily setups, that type of thing, I suggest you join the Telegram group, and join it now. Everyone that joins now, before we start putting up behind a paywall, will remain there. So yeah, join us. So yeah, where are we now with NASDAQ? We've been climbing nicely this since the beginning of the year, breaking out, and I just kind of want to go over where we are right now and what I potentially see happening now soon. Just want to look at this last. This was a nice little entry over here. If we just look at the confluences, we have support, breaks below the support. This is resistance, support, resistance, support, and support. Right? We take a straight line. We have resistance, breaks above the resistance. This as support once, this as support twice, this as support 3 times. Right? What other confluences do we possibly have to add to this area here? Right? So we can look to the left, this little low here, where we tested this trend line, coincides over here, and then this low coincides with this low. So as you can see, there's divergences as well. So we have that divergences going there, right? I'll get to this other entry over here. Just want to point out some of the confluences I'm looking at. I'll get to where we are now. Just give me a second. Right? So we have that support, resistance, 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 support, support, support. Very bullish divergence. Then now if we take our anchored VWAP, guys, and we place it the low, you'll see here tested perfectly here. We can also just use this trend line like this as well, where you had resistance, resistance, breaks above resistance, support, 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 anchored VWAP right from the low, gives us quite a bit of support there. You can also just look left and draw this across like this, and you'll see a support, resistance, support, support, resistance, support. So that's all those confluences going in there. Now, if we take, just delete these brushes, we put another anchored VWAP from this retest over here, where it last touched the last anchored VWAP. Place that one at the bottom there. Boom. Here's this price change. If you take from here to there, 15,500 pips. Crazy, huh? And let's see where this moved up to from there. 5,750 pips. So if you combine your support, your resistance, your trend lines, and these things together, divergences, right? That's when you get entries like these. So, with that said, I know I'm going back into the past, but I'm just trying to show you guys, how you put these things together and try to find good entries. With that said, where are we now? Right now, if we pull this trend line up to there and move this little position here, right? What we currently have here is a level of resistance, 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 broke above the resistance and tested here as support. Now, you can also use this anchored VWAP and take it from the highs. It doesn't have to be the lows. Oh yeah, another confluence before I forget that I wanted to add here. Let me just highlight this again like this. Is this anchored VWAP. You see. Now remember guys, your anchored VWAP stands for your anchored volume weighted average price. So very powerful tool. I suggest you guys learn how to use it. I'm going to go, going forward, I'll explain the anchored VWAP and how to use it, etc. But the guy who created it, Shannon, why am I keep on saying Shannon Sharp? Shannon Sharp is like a sports dude. Brian Shannon. Yeah. Alpha Trends. He would be the best to, really get to the nitty-gritty of how to operate this thing. But you can place it at important events, highs, lows, etc. Right? So then you can see this anchored VWAP kept us down for the last 2 years, I would say, since we started falling, right? Resistance, 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 breaks resistance, test as support there. So that's how you add up all your confluences. Where was I over here? If we put this anchored VWAP on this high like I mentioned just now, and we put an anchored VWAP maybe on this little low where it last touched, squeezed a bit through, but held it up eventually. So what I'm looking at now is two scenarios. I would like to potentially see another pullback. Oh yeah, forgot. Here's another, if you go into the smaller time frames, right? So support, support, support. There's trend line, resistance, 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 brace resistance, support, trend line of support. Right? Maybe we can pull it back to this one even. Same difference. Let's see from this last touch here. Yeah, get these up. I'm trying to get this level. Let's just keep it there. And so you have now further confluences over here to add again. But this move, I mean, we're very bullish now. Short squeeze galore. It's getting a bit tricky to continue adding entries now. So what I want to see, man, what could potentially happen now is, maybe we get another pullback, blow off some steam, and then continue. So I'm looking at this area at 13,000, 13,050, right? For further confluences to see if there could potentially be an entry up to, let's say, let's mark this area off like this. Oh yeah, another confluence here, right? As you can see, if you take your Fibonacci tool, from this low to the high, pulled back into the support area, just tested the 61.8 Fibonacci and blasted off. So I'm looking for another pullback before we continue up. I do think we're going to get a push up. Remember, we have the inflation data this week. We could possibly be setting up for like a sell-off, right? If the inflation comes in hot, then we could potentially see a much bigger pullback, right? So all these confluences, your Fibonacci tools, support, resistance, divergence, etc., etc. Delete this. Right? Let me take this away. We can get back to that. Get back to that. Just want this chart to be simple for now. Now, where are we now? Let's look at this. We have resistance areas here. Resistance, resistance, right? So if we mark that resistance with a trend line, we could even potentially pull it back all the way here where there's more resistance as well. So let's say we have now resistance, 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 right? We then have this resistance. If we look to our left, this peak, right? Let's get a straight one. Further resistance here. Resistance. So it could potentially form resistance here. Remember, this is your first TP, the second one. So I'm now looking at this area as a potential area of interest. Why? Because this area is the target of this little small move here that I just pointed out, right? We have this resistance from this August peak. If we look to the left, we have resistance resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. Could offer resistance there as well, right? Now, when we started this fall, take this away, and I'll take this away. That area is now marked off with that box. If we take our Fibonacci tool for this move that we were in since November of last year until, what is this? November of the year before until October of last year, right? Where is this low? Yeah, this was the move. We had the highs here, we had a pull down, we had a reversal back to the 61.8 Fibonacci, right? Remember, this is the golden pocket area. 61.8 Fibonacci, continue down, TP1, pull back, TP2. Now we have this reversal. So what do we do now with the Fib? What we do now is we can take the Fibonacci tool, this high, well, let's try to do this first. We pull this low down to the next low, like that. And we take this peak of the Fibonacci, that's higher, and pull it to where we pulled up to. That last pullback, 61.8 Fibonacci. What that now does is it gives us a 68.1 retrace here and the 71%. So I'm looking for something now to push up potentially in this. It could give us a fake out, breakthrough, then fall. It could even want to come and test this peak here. Maybe just, a little squeeze up, take out whichever sellers are still in. But I am going to start looking for further confluences, potential confluences in this area. Over here. Hopefully for another push down, like this maybe. Then we could look for potential there. Right? But if it breaks, retest, maybe we have a much bigger drop. It all depends. The Fed is still, the Federal Reserve is still hiking. People thinking a pivot or a pause is coming. So far it hasn't come. We'll see what happens with the inflation data. If it's bad, then we know the Fed is going to continue hiking. Of course, the jobs numbers and all of that stuff still looks good. However, the banking crisis, that's not over. You still see some bad things happening. So you guys understand now why I'm pointing out this area here for a potential sell. Maybe we squeeze up. But I would say if I do enter, then if I do find an entry, I'll put like a stop loss above here somewhere. And then we see how far down it goes. So that is that for now. Let's really look at this chart here. We could see I'm looking for a pullback either to this trend line, right? But let's say all hell breaks loose and this thing decides to melt down. Look at this thing here. This could be a potential pullback. Might go deeper. And who knows, maybe we then have like a bearish market back down to this trend line until like June, July, September vibes. Maybe another push up, break this trend line, retest. We'll see. Right now I would like a a significant pullback. We've been rallying nicely. Let's just look at this. Is the logarithmic chart, guys, right? So let's just quickly see support, resistance, resistance, resistance. Same scenario with this fib. So if you picture it like this, we could get a little something. Who knows? Sorry about that. I keep on having to pause, man. Like people, these workers of mine keep on coming into my office. I decided to move my office to my other office, my trading office to my other office, so that I can actually, spend proper time on this stuff. While I said that, I had to pause again. Let me just draw this trend line back in here again, just to look at why I'm looking at this resistance area. Let's quickly go to the VIX. As you can see, the VIX is at the support area here, right, where it continuously bounced off support, 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 support. We have this larger trend line of resistance. Resistance, resistance, breakout of resistance, but it was a fake out, right? But now I'm also looking at now this smaller breakout here of resistance, 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 breakout, retest. Remember, guys, the VIX moves in opposite to what the S&P and NASDAQ run. So there's that further confluence that I'm looking at, because if this one now bounces off here, it has the potential then to bounce off here. You understand what I'm saying? Alright, guys, I think that's enough for now. So yeah, join the Telegram group. The link is in the description. If you guys are also looking for funding, the only prop firm I trust is FTMO. There's a link in the bio as well, in the description as well. So you guys can check that out and get up to $400,000 in capital funding to trade with. Alright, guys, exciting stuff ahead. I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you.